recap and take an entire trajectory look at Halo. When you first launched, you were focused on extraction. You've now obviously branded out into cultivation and manufacturing, creating your own in-house brands. The industry, as we know, is heating up. Your daily volume trading remains high. The share price, let's face it, has been on a little bit of a roller coaster ride this year, but what kind of a stock really hasn't? So if I'm an investor and I look at the opportunity that's at hand and how this is like the train has definitely left the station, what's the most important message that you can communicate to your current investors and potential new ones with regards to Halo?
The growth will continue to accelerate. So every quarter for the last 3 quarters, for the last 4 quarters, you've seen acceleration of growth.
Yeah.
So not consistent growth, but acceleration of growth. With the deal like Winberry and other stuff we have coming in our back pocket, you're going to see a lot of more of this, what I call accretive growth, both through acquisitions and organically. So we're growing both ways. Secondly, we have a lot of room in California, and sky's the limit really with Lesotho, Malta, and Europe. And to the point with our international assets, my co-founder, 3 of us founded this company in a chicken coop in Southern Oregon 5 years ago. And Andreas is leaving Medford. He's heading to Lesotho in the next 4 weeks, and he is going to build that international business. So, say Bar-X is 250 million. Say our existing Oregon business is somewhere between 4 to 5 million a month or 60 million. Okay. That international business alone could be at another 4 to 5 million a month by the middle of next year. Wow. So the point is that if you look at Halo and take it against Columbia Care, take it against GTI, what you have is you have a company that hasn't been realized, that's a sleeper. The multiples aren't there, but the growth trajectory is there. Someone gave me a report. I think one of the founders of Afria sent me a report yesterday from a group called Stoic. And when it shows the volume in our stock versus any other cannabis stock relative to market cap, I mean, it's sort of like the other guys, their graph is like this, and they're all big names. Our graph is all the way out to here. So our stock. What
does that mean then?
What it means is our stock is liquid. So it doesn't trade by appointment. And so if someone wants to come in at a certain price and someone wants to exit a certain price, even if they own a couple $100,000 worth of shares, they're going to do it with minimal impact into the market. So that liquidity enables investors to invest for the long term, be it medium term or short term, in benefit.
Right.
So our stock is not one where you have to buy and bury it like I've done. People can also opportunistically trade it based on valuation.
Well said. I do want to shift my attention overseas because you'd mentioned obviously Europe, but earlier this month you announced the closing of UK-based cannabis distributor CanMart. That now means one of 4 distribution platforms for medicinal use in the UK. I've been speaking to a lot of people overseas, and actually it's progressing rapidly with regards to legalization in the UK. So paint the picture for us. What kind of opportunity does the UK present for companies like yourself?
Okay. I keep telling people I view the UK as the 80s in San Francisco.
Okay.
So effectively in the UK, it has one of the highest per capita marijuana usage.
Is it really?
Right. It's people in the UK love their marijuana. They love their spleefs. There's a massive culture of marijuana smoking there, hash, not so much the dabs and the vape cartridges, but just joints, rollies, pipes. And from my days with Everyone Does It, which we sold to Namaste, we had a huge warehouse in the UK where we would actively, sell products. I mean, we would sell 1 million pounds a month. So it has that culture. Now, what's happening is it's starting to legalize.
Yep.
And what was the tipping point in California and was AIDS in San Francisco. And the fact that a medical program started in San Francisco, due to the amount of people suffering from AIDS and the palliative nature of medical marijuana. And that tipped an entire state.
Right.
What you're seeing in the UK now is you're starting to see clinics from Harley Street down to Heathrow Airport
Yep.
developing, doctors cutting prescriptions, people paying for medical marijuana. But now you're starting to see NHS studies as well. So if the NHS comes online and says for certain situations we will cover, that's going to be a massive tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think the cat's out of the bag in the UK. And, you know, be it with the software, with Canaphiles that we're developing now, with the fact that we are starting to, you know, put the dots together in Malta with our partners at Medican. We have the GACP coming online in Lesotho. We just got to put the horses down.
Yep.
So Louisa sitting right now, given, you know, her prominence, I mean, she was just featured in Highway magazine. She just was the first Black African woman to get an honorary degree from Stellenbosch University in South Africa, which is the leading agricultural university, arguably in Africa.
Incredible, yeah.
And so she's sitting there with sheets of funding offers. So we have offers to fund that operation right now, and she's just picking and figuring out which ones we want to do.
Does the UK and Europe present as big as opportunity as the US? It's, let's face it, maybe a year or two behind what the American landscape looks like, but it appears it's going to be a massive one as well.
Right. And the way I view that is I think it is a larger opportunity in the mid to longer term.
Right.
Right. And the beauty there is there are not a lot of guys dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening was, I remember Columbia Care, Nick was going to go into Malta. He pulled out. I know that Canopy is pulling out of Lesotho. Metagro's struggling. And I know that a lot of the Canadian LPs, due to a refocus, how do I say it? In Europe, there are not as many players.
Right.
Now there's certain pure play, big pure play players there, like Bedrocan, backed by the Swarovski family, the Crystal family, and Christian's a great CEO. It's not the Bedrocan in Canada, it's a separate private Bedrocan. So there are a couple of large groups that are playing in Europe that have long-term capital. But our mentality is a little bit different than theirs, where they're putting up indoor grows with their own genetics. In Europe, what we're doing is we've taken, be it Skittles genetics, which we've done, DNA genetics, what we call bougie or really high-end genetics. We're growing them in Lesotho in a great environment, the way we're doing it under GACP. We're going to move that into Malta and inevitably move that into the UK and build cannabis products. What we're trying not to do, and we've seen from other people's failures, is go all the way in Africa.
Right. Okay. Why is that?
So because the issue is that Africa in and of itself has taken us 2 years to get our growing down and get clean, beautiful testing products, right? So now we have a great bank of products, again, which will be released in Q4 once we get GACP, or released in Q1 into our P&L. But the issue is that if you're going to start making oil, CGMP oil, you're going to start making cannabis-based products within Africa itself. You're dealing, at least in Lesotho, with zero infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you start doing that in Malta, Teva Pharmaceuticals, the large Israeli generic company, and other pharmaceutical companies have been successful in Malta. Okay. So there's an ample pool of people who understand CGMP, and due to COVID, there are ample CGMP facilities. And right now, Medican's just finalizing a facility and finalizing a team. And I would say within the next 60 to 90 days, we should be pushing product from Africa into Malta, and then from Malta into Europe, and in particular into the UK.